Since I've become aware of the upcoming Ultimate Sackboy mobile game, I've been thinking a lot about LittleBigPlanet and why Sony seemingly hasn't cared about pushing that specific brand as of late. Take Sackboy: A Big Adventure, for example. That game was released last year for PS4 and PS5. Even though the game is heavily inspired by the LittleBigPlanet series, it has mechanics, costumes, and references to it. Nowhere whatsoever does Sony promote it or call it a LittleBigPlanet game, not even an LBP spin-off. And for what it is, being a 3D platformer with no UGC elements, no create mode, it sounds like a spin-off. Most people acknowledge it as a spin-off, but to Sony, it seems like they're trying to make this the new direction, a way to push Sackboy as a mascot while leaving the LittleBigPlanet name behind. There is no way of knowing if that's the case. There hasn't been any confirmation. I just want to speculate and discuss my thoughts on all of this, touch on a topic I haven't seen many talk about in great detail. So let's start with why Sony might be doing this at all. Why is Sackboy the character being pushed rather than LittleBigPlanet? The only good reason I can think of is Dreams.
1, 2, 3. Dream.
Dreams is Sony's current platform for games, the newest play, create, and share title with Media Molecule, the creators of LBP, making it. Dreams has been out for a few years now, it's still getting updates, it's still getting supported, and a PS5 or PC port in the near future is not completely unbelievable at this point. No, it's not a 2.5D platformer with a creation mode. Instead, it's a borderline game engine with similar tools and logic pieces to LittleBigPlanet, but it just has way more options. If we're being honest, it's the evolution of LBP. Everything Media Molecule has done led up to Dreams. They're not going to abandon it anytime soon, and Sony probably isn't going to pull the plug on it either. So why is Dreams the reason for LittleBigPlanet's downfall? Well, I can only assume because Sony is afraid of competing with themselves. It sounds absurd, but if you remember what happened with ModNation Racers all the way back on PS3, that was supposed to be the second game after LittleBigPlanet, sporting the tagline, play, create, and share. It seems they were building up to a series of games related to this tagline, but in the end, they abandoned that idea. They probably saw ModNation wasn't doing that well and went on to just promote LBP instead. Made a second game, made a Vita game, made a PSP game, tons of DLCs, a third game on PS4, and even a mobile game with Run Sackboy Run. What's more proof of that than Sony literally canceling ModNation Racers 2 and making it into LittleBigPlanet karting? Yes, that's a thing that happened if early concept art is anything to go off of. And what happened a few years after LBPK? Well, United Front Games, the developer of ModNation, dissolved, and we would never hear from them again. I have a feeling that ever since then, Sony just isn't too keen on having two user-generated content games, at least first-party UGC games, on the market. After LBP 3 in 2014, they might have seen their upcoming game Dreams as LittleBigPlanet's future replacement. Sackboy was still a recognizable video game character, so while trying to find a way to separate Sackboy from his original series and make him more of a mascot, Sackboy: A Big Adventure was most likely created. Many people don't know this, but through data mining Sackboy: A Big Adventure, a logo for LittleBigPlanet Next was found. To this day, we technically don't know what this was meant for, but the working theory right now is that it was most likely an early name for Saba. LittleBigPlanet Next, the next step for LBP. Isn't it strange how we now know the game as Sackboy: A Big Adventure? What happened to the LBP parts? Did Sony ask for the name to be changed? Or was it just an early throwaway name? To me, this just sounds like further evidence that Sony is trying to move away from the LittleBigPlanet name. I just don't understand it though, because LittleBigPlanet is still a popular brand, unlike ModNation Racers. The series name is literally used on the box for Dreams as a way to sell it to more people. If a new LBP game was made, it's definitely not going to bomb. And Dreams already has a dedicated fanbase, a fanbase that's more interested in the more complex tools, so I doubt you're going to lose players there. I just don't get it, I guess. Bringing back Sackboy as a mascot is fine. I'm okay with the mobile games like Ultimate Sackboy to help strengthen the brand, and I'm especially alright with them trying something new. In fact, I'd be down for a Sackboy sequel. I really enjoyed Sackboy Big Adventure, but you know what I would like even more? If a new LBP game, Dreams, and 3D Sackboy games could coexist with each other. See, video game franchises nowadays often take new approaches, either to stay fresh or avoid burnout, but they often consider the longtime fans while doing so. They find a way to appeal to the older audience while also bringing in a new audience. A really good example of this is Resident Evil. With Resident Evil 7 and now the recently released Resident Evil Village, the RE series has shifted to more of a first-person survival horror game, when before, it was a third-person survival horror game. Fans of the series aren't all completely down with the new direction, which is where the Resident Evil remakes come into play. RE2 and RE3 had complete reimaginings, almost completely new games that went back to the original gameplay style and original characters people love the series for. The newer games might not appeal to them as much, but it doesn't really matter, as they're still getting what they want in the form of remakes. Another example of this would be the Yakuza series, one of my favorite game franchises. Yakuza is a crime drama with a beat-em-up gameplay style. It's been like that for over a decade now. But recently, with Yakuza Like a Dragon, they went into a completely different direction and changed the combat style to this turn-based RPG system. The creators have stated that this is the way it's going to be from now on because of how successful it was. But for me personally, it's just not what I prefer. So what did they do? Well, alongside Yakuza, a series called Judgment was created. A game set in the same universe, the same cities, but centers around completely different characters. Instead of a turn-based combat system, they actually go back and give this series the old beat-em-up style Yakuza was known for. You see where I'm getting at with all of this, right? Sackboy is the new direction, while Dreams is still there for fans of how LittleBigPlanet originally was. Dreams is not the same, obviously, but in Sony's eyes, it's probably good enough. As a fan of LittleBigPlanet though, I kinda disagree. I respect Dreams for what it is, but I don't play it often, and I most definitely don't create anything in it. I enjoyed LittleBigPlanet because of its charm, its unique identity, and most importantly, its simplicity. Dreams is just meant for a different audience, and I'm not that audience. Literally everybody and anybody, young or old, can enjoy LBP for what it is. It just has a much more wider appeal, which is why I think LittleBigPlanet still has a place on the market. It doesn't need to be done by Media Molecule, they don't want to work on a new LBP game, so that's fine. And it doesn't need to be done by Sumo Digital, they could continue working on Sackboy 3D games, I'm fine with that. Sony can outsource the game to any developer they want, and I hope they realize that. Who knows though, they might be working on one right now for PS5. They have what, like 25 new first-party games in development now? Let's hope LittleBigPlanet is one of them. That's all I have to discuss in this video. Tell me in the comments what you think about all of this. Do you want a new LittleBigPlanet game, or is Dreams and Saba good enough for you? Everything I've discussed was, again, just speculation. Don't take any of it as fact. I just wanted to talk about this since I haven't seen many others touch on it. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.